I was a virgin when I married my husband, a choice I had made and held on to with pride. It wasn't always easy, but it was something I believed in deeply. And I was glad I waited outside of my personal values. One of my greatest passions in life was food. I absolutely loved cooking, experimenting with flavors, perfecting recipes, and creating meals that brought people joy. It felt like an art, a way to express love and bring people together. I had earned a reputation in my town as a food expert, a title that filled me with pride. My small but cozy restaurant was my sanctuary, a place where I could share my culinary creations with the world. From early mornings to late evenings, I poured my heart into every dish I made. People traveled from nearby towns just to experience my cooking, and nothing made me happier than seeing the delight on their faces as they took their first bite. Each day in the restaurant was a new adventure. I loved the chatter of customers, the hum of the kitchen, and the satisfaction of knowing I was making people happy. Food wasn't just about sustenance. To me, it was a language of its own, one that spoke of care, creativity, and connection. Looking back, it was in that little restaurant, surrounded by the aroma of spices and the sound of laughter, that my life took a beautiful turn. Little did I know my passion for cooking would not only bring me joy, but also lead me to the love of my life. A man who would appreciate me for all that I was and more. It was in my little restaurant, the place I poured my heart and soul into, that I met my husband for the very first time. He had heard about my cooking from some of his friends, who couldn't stop talking about the delicious meals I prepared. Curious and eager to see what the fuss was about, he decided to visit one afternoon. I still remember that day vividly. The moment he walked through the door, I noticed him immediately. He carried himself with a quiet confidence, and his warm, kind smile was impossible to ignore. His eyes sparkled with intelligence, and he had an aura of calm that seemed to fill the room. As he approached the counter to place his order, I felt a flutter of nervousness, something I had never felt with any other customer. When he sat down, I decided to step out from behind the counter to check on him. He smiled as I approached, and we began talking. What started as a polite conversation about food quickly turned into something more. We discovered we had so much in common: our love for simple, meaningful things, our passion for learning, and even our shared appreciation for a good meal. He told me about his work as a medical doctor, his dedication to helping people, and how he believed in treating everyone with respect. I admired his humility and the way he spoke about his life with such purpose. In turn, I shared my journey of starting the restaurant, my love for creating meals that brought people joy, and my dream of making it a place where everyone felt at home. Before I knew it, hours had passed. His charm and genuine interest in what I had to say made me feel seen and appreciated in a way I hadn't experienced before. From that day on, he became a regular visitor at my restaurant. Each time he came in, he'd sit at the same table, order his favorite meal, and we'd talk like old friends. Little by little, those conversations became the highlight of my day, and I began to look forward to his visits more than anything else. What started as a simple encounter over food turned into something much deeper, a connection that neither of us had expected, but both of us cherished. It was the beginning of a story that would change my life forever. After a few weeks of getting to know each other, we officially began dating, and my heart felt fuller than it ever had before. It was like I had found someone who truly saw me for who I was, someone who cared deeply and made me feel special in every way. I couldn't believe how lucky I was to have met a man like him, someone so thoughtful, kind, and genuine. From the very beginning, he showed me nothing but kindness and patience. He listened to me, valued my opinions, and always made sure I felt respected and appreciated. He had this remarkable ability to make me feel safe, like I could share anything with him without fear of judgment. Whether we were talking about our dreams or simply laughing over a silly joke, I felt an unexplainable connection growing stronger every day. One of the things that stood out most to me was how much he respected my values. Early in our relationship, I shared my decision to wait until marriage before being intimate. It was something that was very important to me, and I was nervous about how he might react. But instead of questioning me or trying to change my mind, he supported me completely. He assured me that he respected my choice, and that he admired me for sticking to my beliefs. Not once did he pressure me or make me feel uncomfortable about my decision. In fact, his gentle understanding only deepened my admiration for him. He treated me with such honor, proving time and time again that his love for me wasn't about physical things. It was about truly connecting on a deeper level. His actions showed me that he valued me as a person, not just as someone to be with, and that made my feelings for him grow even stronger. As we spent more time together, I realized how rare it was to find someone so patient and respectful, someone who could love me for who I was, without expecting anything in return. He became my source of joy and comfort, and I knew I had found not just a partner, but a man who would always stand by me no matter what. 7 months into our relationship, something magical happened. My husband, with his gentle and thoughtful nature, surprised me by proposing. We had been through so much together, and I knew in my heart that he was the one I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. When he asked me to marry him, I couldn't help but smile. My heart filled with joy without a second thought. I said yes. We both felt a rush of excitement as we began planning our wedding. It was like a dream coming true, and we couldn't wait to begin this new chapter of our lives. We spent weeks choosing the perfect venue, picking out dresses and suits, and making sure every detail was just right. It was a time of joy, but also a time of stress, as we worked hard to make sure our big day would be unforgettable. But no matter what, we were happy because we knew that in the end, we would be together finally. The big day arrived. It felt like everything had LED up to this moment. The sun was shining brightly, and the air was filled with excitement as friends and family gathered to celebrate with us. I wore a beautiful white dress that made me feel like a queen, and my husband looked so handsome in his suit, his smile beaming with happiness. We stood before our loved ones, exchanged vows, and promised to love each other for the rest of our lives. The ceremony was everything I had ever dreamed of: simple, beautiful, and overflowing with love. From the moment I walked down the aisle, I felt like the luckiest person in the world. The atmosphere was warm and filled with joy as family and friends gathered to celebrate the beginning of our journey together. Soft music played in the background, and the scent of fresh flowers filled the air, making the moment feel magical. As we exchanged our vows, I could see the love in my husband's eyes, a look that reassured me I had made the right choice. His words were heartfelt, promising to love, honor, and stand by me through all of life's challenges. When it was my turn, my voice trembled with emotion, but every word came straight from my heart. In that moment, surrounded by the people who mattered most to us, I knew we were stepping into something truly special. The simplicity of the day made it even more meaningful. It wasn't about the decorations or the size of the crowd. It was about the love we shared and the commitment we were making to one another. Every smile, every laugh, and every tear felt like a reminder that this was where I belonged, right by his side. When the ceremony ended and we were finally declared husband and wife, my heart swelled with happiness. Hand in hand, we walked down the aisle as a married couple, ready to face the future together. I couldn't stop smiling, thinking about all the memories we would create, the challenges we would overcome, and the life we would build side by side. That day wasn't just the beginning of our marriage. It was the beginning of a new chapter, filled with endless possibilities. As we left the venue, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and excitement, knowing that whatever the future held, we would face it together as one on our wedding night. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness bubbling inside me. It was such a special moment for both of us, and I wanted everything to be perfect, This was the night we had been waiting for, and I wanted it to be as beautiful and meaningful as possible. I carefully prepared myself, making sure to take extra care with everything, cleaning and shaving because I wanted to look my best for him. I was determined to make this moment unforgettable. Not just for me, but for us both. As the evening went on, we found ourselves alone together in our room. The atmosphere filled with warmth and love. I could feel my heart racing, and my husband's gentle presence only made me feel more at ease. We shared a soft smile, knowing this was the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. When we finally came together as husband and wife for the first time, it felt like time stood still. It wasn't just about the physical act, but about the deep connection we shared. It was a moment of trust, love, and intimacy that we had both been waiting for. Though it was new and unfamiliar, it was also beautiful in its own way. I felt safe in his arms, and I knew that this was where I was meant to be. That night, I could feel the love and bond between us growing stronger. It was a memorable experience, one that marked the beginning of a life filled with shared moments. Laughter and love afterward. My husband turned to me, his voice calm and reassuring. He looked at me with such tenderness, his eyes full of understanding and care. "You know," he began softly, "shaving isn't really as important as people think. Nature has its reasons for everything, including keeping the hair there. It's actually healthy for you." His words caught me off guard, and I looked at him with curiosity, wondering what he meant, sensing my interest. He continued explaining everything with patience and clarity. "The hair on our bodies isn't just there by chance," he said. "It serves a purpose. It protects sensitive areas and helps maintain balance. When we remove it, especially too often, it can sometimes lead to irritation, discomfort, or even infections." I listened intently, trying to understand his perspective. He wasn't just talking about something physical, he was sharing wisdom, rooted in his medical knowledge and genuine concern for my well-being. "Keeping it natural," he added, "allows your body to function the way it was designed to. It's healthier in the long run, and there's no need to feel like you have to change something. That's already perfect just the way it is." His words were so gentle and filled with love that they made me pause and think. I had always believed that shaving was necessary to feel clean and attractive. But hearing him explain the natural benefits of leaving it as it was made me question that belief. I could tell he wasn't trying to criticize or judge me. He simply wanted what was best for me. As he spoke, I realized how much he valued me, not for how I looked or what I did, but for who I was. His care and thoughtfulness made me trust him even more. "All right," I said with a small smile. "I'll give it a try," and in that moment, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for having a partner who not only loved me, but also taught me to see things in a new and meaningful way. With his reassurance, I felt comfortable enough to trust his advice. It wasn't something I had ever really thought about before, but I knew that he cared about me deeply and wanted what was best for me. I agreed to stop shaving, feeling a sense of relief and trust in my husband's wisdom. His gentle guidance made me feel even closer to him, and I knew we were in this together, learning and growing as a couple. A few months later, something truly wonderful happened. I found out that I was pregnant with our first child. The moment I saw the positive test, my heart overflowed with joy. I couldn't wait to share the news with my husband. When I told him, his face lit up with the biggest smile I had ever seen. He wrapped me in a warm embrace, and we both laughed and cried tears of happiness. It was a moment I will never forget, a moment that brought us even closer as a couple. The news of our growing family filled our lives with excitement and hope. We began dreaming about the future, about what our child would look like, the kind of parents we would be, and the beautiful memories we would create together. Every day felt like a new adventure as we prepared for this incredible journey of parenthood. As my belly grew, so did my admiration for my husband. He was by my side every step of the way, offering support, comfort, and love. He would often share his medical knowledge, helping me understand the changes happening in my body. But it was more than that. He taught me how to embrace these changes, to see them not as something to fear, but as a natural and beautiful part of life. Through him, I learned to appreciate my body in ways I never had before. He helped me understand that nature has its wisdom, and that embracing it can bring peace and confidence. As time passed, I realized just how much I had grown, not only as a wife and soon-to-be mother, but also as a woman who was learning to love and respect herself fully. Together, we were building not just a family, but a bond that grew stronger with each passing day. Our relationship continued to flourish, growing deeper and stronger with each passing day. With my husband by my side, I began to feel a sense of comfort and security I had never experienced before. He was my rock, my greatest supporter, and the one person who always made me feel valued and cherished. His constant love and encouragement helped me blossom in ways I didn't think possible. I started to feel more confident in myself, not just as a wife, but as an individual. Knowing that he believed in me gave me the courage to embrace who I was. Flaws and all his kind words and thoughtful actions reminded me daily that I was loved for exactly who I am, without needing to change or prove anything. Every time he held my hand, shared a laugh with me, or listened to my thoughts, I felt more secure in our bond. His unwavering support gave me the strength to face challenges with a calm and steady heart. With him by my side, I learned to trust myself, to see my own worth, and to appreciate the beauty of our partnership. Together, we created a safe space filled with love, understanding, and respect, where I could truly be myself. And in that space, our relationship grew into something even more meaningful, something that made me feel incredibly blessed and deeply grateful every single day.